and welcome to MandoBug Crafts, episode 27! Hi, I'm MandoBug, or you can call me Amanda, whatever. Welcome new viewers, and thank you, returning viewers. So, something I learned this week. I actually managed to accidentally get my wheel going to do traditional long draw spinning. Yeah, I'm not really sure how that happened, but I'll go ahead and share a little video with you guys about it. Hey, so I'm spinning here on my wheel and I wanted to show you guys what I was doing and what I'm doing now. So I have my wool here, and what I was doing before is a supported long draw. I've showed this to you guys in a previous episode. So what I do is I let the twist get all the way to the roving here, and then when I'm ready to draft, I pinch up here and I pull from the roving, like that. Now see, it's fat like that because I let too much twist get on there, and so it tried to pull all this fiber. So I just go ahead and untwist some of it and let the twist travel. So I finally figured out how to troubleshoot that. And so as I was spinning my wool like this, my tension actually got really tight on my wheel, and I'm just fixing this slub here real quick. But so the tension actually got really tight on my wheel to the point that I was able to just long draw draft straight like this. Now if the tension is too tight, you won't be able to get enough twist on your yarn and the yarn will break. But if it's too loose, you get this, where I'm pulling and the fiber's just coming right back. So what you have to do is you have to tighten your tension. A little more. I'm going to help this along because I think too much twist has gotten onto it. So definitely with spinning on a wheel, there's a lot of troubleshooting going on, and tension is key. So should be good now. Woo! Now the tension's too tight, and this is what happens. When it gets like it looks like it's gonna break, you gotta get more twist on it, because that's what determines how thick your yarn's gonna be. It's just you against the twist, and you gotta trust the twist. So you know, they always say the longer the draw, the more impressive, right? I haven't really been able to figure out that yet, but I mean, really the trick to this is tension, 100% tension, and it's very hard to set. You know, every little bit, see, and I got some felted wool right there, every little twist that you make to your machine is a giant one. So if you see me struggle to draft this long draw like this, it's not the method so much as this felted wool that I was telling you guys about. I know I'll get better. I'm still learning how to dye, so especially these darker brown spots felted pretty bad. But you can tell when I get past those really difficult parts to draft, the long draw works just like it's supposed to. So like I said, with this it really comes down to tension and trusting the twist. The thickness is determined by how much twist you let get on there. If you leave it at just a little bit of twist as you draft, then you'll get a thinner yarn. The more you build up on there, you'll get a thicker yarn. So, and I think because you're only using primarily, unless you have felted yarn, you're only using one hand to long draw, and so I feel like this method of spinning is a lot faster than any of the other methods. And of course you get your woolen properties. Even with a worsted prep, you still get some of them woolen properties. So yeah, you saw me spinning my hand-dyed domestic wool that I had purchased from Winterwood Farm. It came with my spinning wheel, and it is kind of hard to spin because it's pretty felted from the way it was treated while I was dyeing it. And I also have a theory that I may have soaked it too long. When you dye yarn, you pre-soak it in a bath to kind of help it take the dye. Well, I did that with the fiber too, and I think the fiber might have sat wet for too long, and that may possibly have felted it. I'm not sure. I'm going to experiment with not soaking it next time I dye. But, so I've spun 2/3 of that wool. Then I'm trying to just make a worsted weight with it because it's going to become yarn for a hat for a family member. And here are my bobbins. This one looks a lot nicer. This one I think was more recent. I tried to spin like the blue parts first and then have it fade into the orange parts, but I realized that the third chunk of wool that I'm spinning doesn't really have that orange at the end. I don't know if you can hear this. Oh my goodness, I have to share with you guys. It's my cat. My cat crawled into my bag. Meow meow. What are you doing in there? What are you doing in there? Why did you do that? I don't know if you guys heard that. I'm just gonna let you be. I don't know. Here you go. I guess he's feeling frisky today. Anyways, the singles. Yeah, the third single that I'm spinning is kind of like pretty variegated, so we'll see what happens when I get the final yarn. So that's all I got for the spinning project. I guess moving on to works in progress. I've really only been working on one project this week, and it's nothing I was working on last week. I hope this doesn't like hurt any of you knitters out there who like to just knit on the same project. You're very monogamous. I, in the knitting world, am not. I have like a million projects going, and it doesn't seem to bother me. I just pick up what I feel like working on and just go. So, I don't know. If you're new, you may not have seen these. So, these are what I'm calling my Seahawk socks for my husband. This is actually the Time Traveler's socks by Liz Sedmick. And this is Premier Yarns Wool Free Sock. It's like 93% acrylic, 93%, yeah, acrylic, 7% PBT. It's not bad. I'm knitting it on size 0s. It's a nice tight gauge. The socks fit him perfect. This is actually after he's worn it, so it's technically dirty, but it doesn't look that dirty. But this, I finished that sock a little while ago, so I've been starting on sock 2. My goal is to have it done by the end of the month so I can enter it in Penguin Soup's knit along. It was January to March where you try something new. So this is my progress, and I'm sorry if you can hear that motorcycle. I live pretty close to a road that people like to speed on, especially motorcycles. And you know, it's warming up, so everyone's pulling it out of their garage. But yeah, so I've gotten pretty far. I've started my gusset increases. That's what the stitch markers are for. And I'm actually knitting this one on 9-inch circulars to try it out. I knit this one on DPNs. And the gauge is pretty much the same, so it really didn't affect my gauge at all. But I feel like I'm knitting faster on the 9-inch circulars because it's just really quick round and round. But the one downside is, if you've never used them before, there you can, I don't know, can you see the join right there? The needles are this big. So you really have to get used to using them, and even then I find sometimes if I knit for too long my hand starts to cramp, and I think it's just because you have to hold it differently. So, but for the most part I'm not complaining. I'm really close to the heel, and you know once I finish the heel the sock's pretty much done. So these should be done by next week. So that moves on to finished objects. I don't have any this week, so skip that. Moving on to check it out. So check it out. I purchased on Etsy from Hip Strings this neat little wraps per inch tool. So this guy was $9, and I didn't have a wraps per inch tool, so I figured I'd pick one out, and I really like this one. So you get 2 inches to wrap. So especially if your yarn is a little thick and thin, wrapping for 2 inches will give you a better idea of what your yarn is on average. My cat's still in the bag. He's got something in there though, and he's eating it. Sorry. I'm really distracted this episode, guys. I'm sorry. I just woke up from a nap. I wasn't feeling good earlier, so I took a nap. And but yeah, so you get the 2 inches to wrap and have a better average, and then also it's got these lines wood burned in it where you can measure the yarn. So like my sock weight fingering yarn, you can see that it fits right into the fingering weight groove. So it's a nice way, so it measures your finished yarn, and then it tells you like about what a wrap per inch is for those weight. So what I've been doing as I've been spinning is I take my spinning, and sometimes it's hard to find the end. I've been taking my spinning and trying to put it on the line that I want it to be and see if it's about 1/3 of that. Now this isn't the best way to measure that because the way that you ply will definitely change that. So here, oh, it's upside down. This is kind of hard to hold with one hand and show you guys. But I don't know if you can see. Am I on the DK? Oh my goodness. This is a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So here's my single on the worsted line. You can see it's a little more than 1/3. So maybe plied, it'll end up at about 1/3 of the worsted weight. We'll see. That's been my goal. There are other wraps per inch tools on the market. There's one that's clear and it's got lines, and there's numbers next to it, and you can decide like, okay, if you want number 12 to be the size of your finest, oh my goodness guys, I apologize. If you want number 12 to be the size of your finished yarn, then you figure how many plies you want. So if you want 2 ply, you make your singles the size of the 6. If you want 3 ply, you make your singles the size of 4. Quick math. But I wanted a wraps per inch tool more than I wanted a singles measurer. So I went with the nice pretty wooden tool from Hipstrix. So that's my check it out. And speaking of check it out, I purchased some yarn. So I'll go ahead and share it with you guys. A couple episodes I mentioned the Eat Sleep Knit Yarnathon, and so I won't really go into that again, but I hit my milestone, and I got my welcome kit. Welcome to the Eat Sleep Knit Yarnathon. MandoBug, you are on Team Robo Knits. Wee wee wee! I'll probably eventually this year get a shirt because it's fun, and actually they have a really cute coffee mug that I want, so because I drink a lot of tea at work and I want to take it to work and show it off. But it came with a cool little measuring tape. Oh, that's loud, which is handy because it's compact, so it's nice to go in the bottom of a knitting bag. Came with a sticker. Oh, it came with a button and I dropped it on my way back here. Whoops. But there's a cool little button like this that had the same image, this Yarnathon image on it. And I got an Eat Sleep Knit pin and a little pad with Robo Knits. So that was cool. But what I ordered was, well, what I needed more Blue Skies Alpaca Cotton. So I got 2 skeins in orange. This is their worsted weight. And this is colorway 601. It's orange. excuse me, I think Eat Sleep Knit calls it poppy orange. I don't know. I love orange poppies. They're gorgeous. So I got that. And then I realized, hey, I was only a couple yards away from a milestone, so I got extras. So I got, of course I had to try this out. Did you know that Malabrigo has roving? It's called Noob. Does this have the color on it? Yes. Not gonna try to say that. Come on. What is that? You tell me. But it's gorgeous. I know that. So I got red because I haven't really spun red before and I need some change in color. So I do have to say it's everything I thought it was going to be. It's really soft. Makes me jealous that my roving's not this soft when I'm finished dyeing it. I'll get there one day. You know, everything takes practice. I gotta remind myself I can't master everything on the first try. So I'm excited to spin that. And then I also picked up this, because I couldn't pass up Sparkle, right? This is Dream in Color Smushy Starry in, oh, I know there's a colorway. Wicked Royal. Look at that. It's like a beautiful starry night. And originally I was like, oh my goodness, I've been in this, this has been like the sock year for me. I just want to make socks with it. But I'm like, oh, this would go really well around my neck. So I'm torn. But I think it's going to be socks. Like, I think I want to get a sock book and knit my way through a sock book. So if you guys have any recommendations, go ahead and share them with me. I think Sarah in our group has already shared a book with me, and I might get that one. I think she said she was knitting her way through that one as well. So, I don't know. I want to make socks. Lots and lots of socks. So that's all I got from Eat Sleep Knit. So, current events. I have been participating in the 2014 Sampler Mystery Knit Along by Marie Segueres. And I don't share my progress with that every week because the clues only come out every 2 weeks. It's a very slow going knit along because it lasts throughout the entire year. So it's $8 for the pattern. You get 2 squares a month for a year. And at the end, if you make each square once, you have a baby blanket. If you make it 2 times or more, you'll have a full-size blanket. I'm just doing the baby blanket, and I'm using that Blue Skies Alpaca worsted cotton. And so if you're participating and you don't want to see the clues, you may need to skip ahead a little bit. I am behind, so I think the clues numbers don't match the square numbers, so I'm just going to go ahead and describe them by their square number. I think square 6 came out this week, and I haven't gotten to that yet. So I finished square 4, which looks like this. I haven't blocked it. I don't think I'm going to block these before I sew them together, especially because I don't feel it's really necessary, and this one's kind of like a ribbed pattern, so when I sew it, I think it will stretch it out along the edges of the other ones, because all the squares have the same number cast on. So, and they should be about the same number of rows, so it shouldn't be a problem sewing these together, even if the gauge is different. They just might pucker a little bit on the seams. So that's square 4, and then I started square 5, but I made a mistake. So this is square 5. I think that might be the back, actually, sorry. So this is square 5. I'm not sure if it looks much different, but I made a mistake. Not sure if you can see it. It's on this row where my finger is. And I've thought about leaving it and continuing to knit on. I'm still torn. I don't know. It's only like 3 rows back, so it wouldn't take me that long to go back and fix it. I just don't know if I want to do that. And so that's why I didn't finish it, because I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. So I just was working on other things. So for current events, we still have the February-March finished objects thread going on in the Ravelry group. That will continue through the end of March. And So with that, there are 3 different categories, and I've already got a picture up of the fabric for the fabric category, and I've been thinking about the prizes for the fiber and the yarn category since the knit along is ending soon. I'm thinking for the fiber, I'm going to dye 4 ounces of that BFL swirl on like an emerald green. So it should be shades of emerald green, like light and dark green. Again, this is my plan, and since I'm a new dyer, if it doesn't turn out, I'm not going to give you something that's not nice or doesn't look good. So keep that in mind. You might end up getting something else. And for the yarn, the plan is, because spring is coming, I was thinking of pastel self-striping yarns. So I still haven't figured out how to get pastel colors yet, so they might not end up pastel. It might be more rainbowy. We'll see what happens, but that's my idea so far, in case you were wondering. And then we have the project bag sew along going on right now too. So I've pretty much finished the teacup bags, and I thought they were going to be big enough for a sock project. And let me see. I mean, I guess if you shove your yarn and socks in there, it could work. So I guess I have my sock in here right now with the yarn for my Seahawk socks, but not the spare one. That wouldn't fit in there too. But here's one of the purses. I say mostly done, and I messed up the zipper on this side, so it kind of like, right. And that's because these top strips weren't the same size. And so when I lined them up to be sewn here to be even, you can see there wasn't as much fabric on this side where the zipper is as there was on this side with the zipper. But these meet perfectly. And I was trying to figure out, well, should I make these up and have the zipper be off, or should I make this be off and the zipper even? I decided to make this even, and that really changed the shape of the teacup. But it's a gift for family members, so I hope they don't mind. I still haven't sewn the tea bag border yet, and the zippers, I haven't been zipping and unzipping them because I haven't pressed the fabric down on the inside yet, and it's been getting caught. So this is one. Here's another one. This is the one I showed you guys last week where the flowers are kind of out of place. And here's the third one. And see, this is like the shape it's supposed to be. And this one's got the light inside. Now, I made 2 of the same fabric scheme because I wasn't sure which one was going to look better. And I'm still really not sure which one I think looks better. I don't think this purse bag looks good with any white fabric on it because, especially if you're doing the quilting with white thread. You can see my thread here, but can you see my flowers? It's like camouflage. There's one right there. You can't really see them. So, it was kind of a waste of quilting. And also this bag requires ribbon to have like an accent right here. And I thought it was fabric from the picture, so I didn't buy ribbon, and I didn't have any, and I didn't feel like trying to figure out that whole thing on my own, so I just kind of made them. For the most part, I'm pretty pleased. I wish this zipper wouldn't have been so messed up. I probably should have caught that before it happened, but you know what, I made 3. So there's a reason why I just make a bunch of things, in case one of them's messed up. So I hope your guys' bags are coming along nicely and you don't really have that many mess ups like I did with those. I'm still going to be making the open wide bags, so you'll probably see those next week. And so upcoming events. Hey, it is like almost spring, and that's when all the events start happening. Are you guys going to any knitting events or retreats? I know down here in Georgia there are 2 coming up. So Stitches South is held in Atlanta, and it is April 10th through the 13th. Are you going? I plan on being there on the 12th. Yeah, it's a Saturday. I'm just going to drive up to the marketplace for the day, probably with Lindsay of the Knit One podcast, and just kind of peruse the market. I wasn't really interested in any of the classes they were offering this year. They're very knitting focused, and I don't know, it's a little spendy for me, and I'm a pretty big advocate of learning on your own and trying things yourself. So that's not for me, but I really am excited. I went either last year or 2 years ago and had a great time. Like, seriously, carry cash and consider your cards off limit. Otherwise you'll go broke. And then the other festival coming up is the, let me see, 3rd Annual Festival of Alabama Fiber Arts. And this is April 25th through the 26th. And it's in Montgomery, Alabama. Are you going to this? I plan on going on the 26th. It's a Saturday. It's just easier for me that way. And this festival has a lot of really cool workshops. So I still have my little ad they gave me when I went to the Alpaca Fiber Festival last year. And so I went to their website, and they're offering, like I said, so many cool workshops. It's a fiber festival, so it has a variety of things going on. There are workshops on, of course, you have your intro to spinning, intro to knitting. I think there's spinning in the grease, weaving, patchwork weaving. There's like felting silk. But there's two that I was really interested in. One of them was, I don't remember the exact title, but it was Caring for an Angora Rabbit. And so you get to learn how to care for it and groom it, and then you also get some of its fiber to spin with, see if it's something. Really, I see it as a class to really figure out if owning one is something you'd be interested in, which of course I'm interested in what it would be like. So that was one class, and the other class is called From Riches to Rolags, or wait, I got that backwards. From Rolags to Riches. And it's a class about blending fiber. So you learn how to make bats and Rolags, and I think it was like $45 for the class, and I don't know if you get 6 ounces of fiber. It just said there will be 6 ounces of fiber. I don't, sometimes you have to read the fine print, but I mean, you get fiber to play with. They encourage you to bring your own. There will be fiber for sale. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to take that class. I had to choose between the two because they're both offered on Saturday morning and at the exact same times. So I'm pretty sure if that class doesn't get full, I'm going to squeeze into it. I'm not going to pre-register just in case something happens with work and I'm not able to make it to the festival, but I should be able to, and I really want to take that class. And who's teaching that class? Jen Lambert. So I'm excited. So that's all I got for you guys this week. Sorry I've been so scatterbrained. It'll be better next week, I promise. Bye!